this remains an extremely alarming situation.
COVID-19 restrictions in Washington have been extended into the new year. This morning, the latest updates, including how Spokane's mayor is reacting.
By tomorrow, the U.S. could recommend emergency use of a coronavirus vaccine. This morning, how many doses are expected in Washington?
A quick-moving front brought us a little bit of rain early on in the day. We're going to dry out before our next chance of rain and even a little snow arrives.
We're live at the Numerica skate ribbon this morning talking about all the changes they've made to keep people safe while skating during the pandemic.
Up with KREM starts right now with Jen York, Joshua Robinson, Jeremy Legoo, and Dana Marie McNichol.
It is 6 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Hey, if you feel like it's been a little gloomy here in town lately, it turns out Spokane is the 7th most gloomy city across the U.S. That's according to Move.org, who analyzed the weather conditions ranging from temperatures to cloud coverage. So on average, they say Spokane sees 191 cloudy days. Anchorage, Alaska tops the list with 239 days. This is an interesting list because we have two of us here who are from two of these other cities that are higher than Spokane. Jeremy, what's your take on this?
My take on this is that your metric really changes how this looks. If you look at days that the sun comes out, even if it's from behind the clouds, Spokane is one of the sunniest cities in the country. So this is a weird one to me.
Yeah,
it's kind of like half glass full, half glass empty type of deal. How are you looking at it? If you look at sunny days, I guess we're a great place to live.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of odd. Oh, okay, we got some clouds in the sky. That's weird. Coming from Anchorage, I can tell you that it is night and day difference here in Anchorage when it comes to those cloudy days. And Joshua, number 3, Buffalo.
I can agree. The gloom is definitely a real factor over there on the East Coast. Much nicer out here, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we're saying. Today would be one of those days that I think that study would call a total washout. It has rain, it's gloomy, it's cloudy, it's nasty, it's gross. This weekend's one of those. But in between there, we are going to see sunshine. We're going to see sunshine, I'm telling you, just about each and every day. It just kind of works its way out. So if you count those, that's the glass half full kind of way. Early on this morning, we're seeing some cooler temps. Over in Moses Lake, we've got some slick roads. Same in Wenatchee. You got a little bit of rain. Now temperatures are dropping. Ritzville, a couple of slick spots out there as well. We're seeing our temperatures hovering right near freezing. The ground is pretty warm after how warm we got yesterday. Had that little bit of sun out there. The rain warms it up. It would take a little bit more for us to get some of those, but we are watching it very close. We did not get any wintry mix. We did not get any freezing rain. It's all about what happens on the backside of this front. And the reason we're keeping such a close eye on it is this front has kind of kicked it into high gear and it's quickly exiting the region. Because it's moving out so quick, we have that opportunity for a little bit of cooling. But here's how today breaks down. I am telling you, this day is one of those ones that they're going to be like full on gloom. That was gross. But here you go. You are going to see a little bit of sunshine. So someone else is going to say this counts as one of those 300 days of sun that we see here in Spokane. So it's all in how you look at the weather.
All in how you look at it, Jeremy. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Our big story this morning is the extension of state restrictions here in Washington.
This is because we remain concerned about COVID activity, and we still do not have a clear picture of the situation following the Thanksgiving weekend.
Basically, this means everything that we can't do today, we still won't be able to do until at least January 4th. So we've got a list for you of what exactly is still open and closed throughout Washington. Restaurant takeout service is still available, and you can dine in person, but only outside and only with 5 people or less. Retail stores are open with only 25% capacity. Indoor fitness facilities are closed. However, fitness classes can be taught outside. Also, wedding and funeral services can continue with 30 people or less. Indoor movie theaters are closed, but drive-in theaters can remain open. Religious services are limited to 25% capacity as museums, zoos, and aquariums and indoor exhibits are closed. Meanwhile, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward commented on this extension, saying it's time for the federal government to step in. Businesses across Washington can apply for up to $20,000 in aid, but she says that's not enough.
And I think if the government is going to continue to extend these restrictions, they need to be able to come to the table financially to help these businesses. We heard the state is making $50 million more dollars available, but we need more.
So if you're looking for the latest information on what these restrictions mean for you, all you have to do is text the word restriction to 509-448-2000. Tim Pham joining us now with the latest updates on the race for a vaccine. Morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joshua. Thanks so much. So we are your vaccination information station, and there is some more encouraging news in the race for a vaccine as the FDA gets ready to meet tomorrow to consider Pfizer's vaccine. On Tuesday, the FDA released documents confirming Pfizer and BioNTech's shot is highly effective at preventing COVID-19, and it appears to be safe. Tomorrow, a group of independent experts will vote on whether to recommend the vaccine. Then an emergency use authorization would follow. Meanwhile, researchers in the United Arab Emirates reported that a new Chinese-made vaccine appears to be 86% effective in the early trials. But it's noted more research is needed. Meanwhile, Governor Inslee's press conference also gave insight into Washington's plans to distribute Pfizer's COVID vaccine. Washington state expects to start receiving doses of the vaccine by the end of the month. The state is expected to receive a little more than 62,000 vaccines by next Tuesday and a total of 219,000 by the end of the month. Healthcare workers and long-term care facilities will get the first doses, but that process could take time.
And that includes not just doctors and nurses, but also other support staff who are providing care to these individuals. So it's going to take us, a number of weeks to be able, and into January, to be able to get through to all of those folks.
The Department of Health is working to finalize which workers in those groups are at the highest risk. Last night, UW Medicine shared this video. It shows new freezers for the vaccine. They are already at 4 hospitals in Seattle. Joshua?
Status of Idaho's initial COVID-19 vaccine rollout is expected to be only weeks away. State leaders are working to create a statewide distribution plan that is balanced. Now, the exact dates that Idaho will get vaccine shipments are dependent on the current approval process. Governor Brad Little previously mentioned that frontline medical workers would be part of the group to get the first vaccine.
Well, there are a lot of questions about a COVID-19 vaccine now that we're close to having them available. The big question is, where is your place in line for the vaccine? Joshua Robinson now telling us how you can find out.
Yeah, trending online this week, of course, is a vaccine timeline calculator. It estimates how many people are in front of you to get the COVID-19 vaccine. So we're going to take a closer look at how it works. So let's say you're a 45-year-old teacher who lives in Spokane County and you have no COVID-related health risks. We plug that into the calculator and it says there are 135.7 million people in America ahead of you for the vaccine. You can see that number there, your little spot in line. Now let's take a look at if you're a 55-year-old essential worker with health risks, but your job is considered low risk. According to the calculator, 23 million people stand ahead of you in the line for the vaccine. Now let's say you're a 25-year-old who is not considered an essential worker or a healthcare worker. So in that situation, there's 144.1 million people ahead of you to get the vaccine. And if you want to check yourself to see where you stand in line, go to KREM.com. We've got a link for you to check the calculator yourself.
We're just getting started here on Up with KREM. A holiday tradition in Spokane is the skate ribbon, of course, and the pandemic isn't stopping people from lacing up and getting on the ice. We'll explain how the city made the tradition safe after the break.
And we're starting to see temperatures drop out to the west. We're going to talk about how that could impact your morning commute.
And Apple is releasing new AirPods next week, and their price tag almost matches a PlayStation 5. Yeah, these wireless headphones cost over $500. We want to know, how much would you pay for them? Text us at 509-448-2000. You can see your comment on Up with KREM a little later.